Blog Talk Radio.
Hi, everybody. This is Barbara Moore, and I'm co-host on Life, Laughter, Happiness. Today, we are doing things a little differently. Along with my co-host, Kelly Walters. Are you there, Kelly?
Yeah. Hi, everybody.
Great. Together, we will be interviewing the host and creator of Life, Laughter, Happiness, Jonathan Alexander. Are you there, Johnny?
Yes, I am.
Okay, great. So this will be a very special show today. Kelly and I are very excited about it. So now I'm going to hand it over to Kelly to give a more formal introduction for the extraordinary man behind Life, Laughter, Happiness.
Well, thank you, Barbara.
You're
Johnny
welcome.
had a dream. Well, Johnny had a dream, and he decided, and we're going to be finding out how, he started his show, but we do know that he didn't want to name it after himself because he wanted it to be authentic in the way that it belongs to everyone, and it has a universal theme that people can identify with. And he does all the behind-the-scenes work in his back office, meaning that he schedules and he runs the switchboard and he makes sure guests are prepped for the show. He screens the callers. He watches the chat room on Blog Talk. And he writes most of the show descriptions and solves technical issues and creates show links and keywords for signal increase. All these technical things, we're not exactly sure what they are yet, but he's the one who masters it all. And
that's so much.
Yeah. He does a lot. So now we get to meet the man behind the screen.
Oh, wow. I'm so glad we're going to be able to find out and all those behind-the-scenes types of things that you do, Johnny, for us to make it possible. People don't know about, plus a whole lot of other things. So I'm wondering about something that I've been wondering about for a long time.
Okay.
And that is, how did you or when did you get interested in the paranormal? Was it childhood? Was it something that happened that made you aware of it? I just want to know, like, how young were you when you started to get interest in this whole subject matter?
Well, I always was. I mean, but it's sort of funny because it's like when you're a kid, you need to be kind of careful. I think parents and adults, they try to get careful with you about not going too far into it or not being taken. Because you know how even though there are some people involved in the paranormal that say some pretty far out stuff. And you being a mom yourself, and, you know, I'm sure Kelly, who has kids around her, you know, you wouldn't want things polluting the minds of your kids. So when I was a kid, I was fascinated by it, but I think it was, I guess one of the things I liked about it is I always knew there was something more there than what was there. And that's what got my attention. So I've always liked it. I mean, it's sort of like Kelly always knew that she had an interest in it. You know, she probably knew she had an interest in it even as early as 6 or 7, just like you did. But
well, right, but was there one thing in particular, though, within the paranormal? There's so many different things.
Yeah, it wasn't one thing in particular. I do think it was sort of. I think what I will say this though, I think that in college I took a parapsychology course, and that was the first time that I had heard of somebody, of an adult, talking about it, who was educated, talking about the subject. And I think it was interesting because I realized that there were intelligent people, like educated people. I would have to say college was when it happened, because then I started seeing, like, it was, I always was growing up thinking, well, you know, if you believe in the paranormal, then that was a sign that you weren't educated or weren't smart. But then I got to see, as I went into college, I started seeing educated people, like with degrees and MDs and, you know, PhDs in psychology who were interested in it, who had interest in it, or researched it.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to, you know, look into it. I wanted to research it, and I wanted to talk to these people. Now, that's sort of, I think, what led me to do the podcast that I was going to do later on. I mean, if that's what is that something that you were curious about as well?
That is the answer. So this happened in college. Your interest was sparked in it because of a course. What was the course? Do you remember?
Well, actually, okay, that's interesting that you say that. You mean what sparked my interest in wanting to do the podcast?
No, I was just in the subject, actually.
Okay, what got me interested in the subject? Well, see, what happened was I was a philosophy major in college. And a lot of people joke about philosophy majors as not being able to really do a whole lot. You know, I mean, because all we do is sit around and we debate whether or not something is real, or we debate whether or not we know something. And I think it got me interested. Philosophy was something that allowed me to pursue the paranormal, but at the same time be educated and think rationally. Does that make sense?
Okay, so you felt like, okay, wow, I'm not the only one who's interested in this. I have these professors who are, yes, okay, right. So that, and then you came up with this other idea. Kelly was talking before the show how, you know, we don't even know, right, Kelly? What were you going to ask Johnny? Go ahead and ask him your question.
Yeah, thank you. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I can hear you okay.
Oh, okay, good. I'm driving right now. So, anyway, yeah, I am wondering about how did you come up with an idea to have a show on the radio? I mean, that's not something that everybody thinks to do.
Okay, yeah, I understand. Well, when I was in college, all of the different departments, they had billboards. And what they did was they would put people on the billboards who majored in that particular subject. So, like in the psychology department, they had a billboard for people who celebrities majored in psychology. And, you know, for the history, they had a bunch of people who were majors in histories in college. If you went to the philosophy department, which was my major, I saw a list of philosophy majors, and the people were people like Jay Leno and Steve Allen. Okay?
Oh, cool.
And, right, but if you'll notice, those two names I just mentioned were hosts of their own show.
Yeah.
I mean, they all had, and people like Alex Trebek hosting his own show. Steve Martin, you know, these are all people that stood up in front of a crowd or whatever it was. And I realized that, okay, maybe I should do something like this. So I was sitting in class, philosophy class one time, and this guy was sitting next to me. He was a philosophy major, and he goes, I have a talk show. And I mean, and they call it all the time. And I said, wait a minute. You have a talk show? Now, Blog Talk Radio didn't come out until later, okay? And this is where eventually what actually finally led to the Blog Talk Radio. I was selling vitamins at the time. And when I was selling vitamins, I realized something. I had so many people tell me, well, why don't you just go on a radio show and sell them? You know? I mean, that seems like a good idea, right? Okay.
Right.
Well, what happened was I began to realize was that every person that I saw that had a radio show, I was not appropriate to have them on because they were, their topics were geared towards something else. It was like I couldn't go on a paranormal show and talk about vitamins. I couldn't go on a sports show and talk about vitamins. It had to be something, where it was appropriate to talk about vitamins. And then I went on this lady and I talked to her. I think she was on Blog Talk. I think it was she did something called Law of Attraction Radio. And I talked to her and I said, well, she told me you can do it for free. You just open up your own show. So I did, and I started thinking what kind of a show would I want to make? And I looked at all the other shows, and I realized that every other show was named after the host. That it was always the blah, blah, blah show, the blah, blah, blah show, the blah, blah, blah show. Or what happened was their show was designed for one topic instead of a wide range of topics. So I realized that I thought about it, and I thought, well, I'd have to say that the shows that are most like ours are probably the Today Show or Good Morning America. Because if you'll notice, they can conceivably talk about anything. I mean, any of us could conceivably be on Good Morning America as a guest. We might be talking about different things. Like Kelly might be there doing a shock spins, Barbara might be there talking about Playboy. But we could all conceivably go on the show. Okay? Mm-hmm. And another thing I saw was the Tonight Show. I noticed that it wasn't the Johnny Carson show, it was the Tonight Show. And I saw how he would... There was actually one particular episode where he had Fernando Lamas, and then he had the guy that wrote The Exorcist, and he had Richard Pryor on. And I noticed that as Johnny Carson was talking to Fernando Lamas, and he was talking that Fernando Lamas was talking to the person who wrote The Exorcist. Sorry if I'm mumbling a little bit. I'm sorry. As he's talking to the person who wrote The Exorcist, Fernando Lamas would jump in and ask questions, and then Richard Pryor would jump in and he would ask questions. And I realized that when I saw that format, I realized that format would be very appealing to a lot of people because it's shared. And I realized that it needed to be something that was shared. It needed to be something where the people, where all the guests felt like they were a part of it, and it was shared. And I guess for a long time, I did have some people on who were co-hosts, but they didn't.
Wait, hold on. Before you get into that, I wanted to ask one question. And so all of this was still with your thoughts on selling vitamins? Really?
No, the vitamin company went out of business.
Okay, so by then the vitamin thing, that's originally why you started it. But then when you started it, you're like, no, I really like the paranormal. I like the subject matter, and I want to, I'm humble. You're a very humble man, and you don't need the show named after you, and you wanted to reach people and be interactive. And gosh, thank you for that creation, because now look at what you've done. You know, Kelly and I, we're like over the moon being a part of it and hosting along with you, and we're just like excited about reaching so many people. And so how does that feel now that this show is like gaining so much momentum and reaching so many more people?
It's really interesting.
How are you feeling right now about that?
That's really interesting because it makes me, I for a long time, I would do shows and then I would do them every week or every month or whatever. Now, I think it was when I first had Kelly start to come on that I realized, and with you later on, that also validated it. But I realized it was like, oh my goodness, my philosophy really does work. The philosophy of sharing everything, the philosophy that, and I was thinking about this today, so I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. This is my day, okay? I work 2 jobs, as you know, and I do the show. So what happens is at night when I go to bed, I put my phone on airplane mode and I set an alarm to wake me up, okay? And I turn off the air. This is the first thing in the morning. I turn on Kelly's going to laugh at this. I pick up my phone. I turn off the airplane mode. The first thing that pops up is a text message from Kelly. Do we have a show tonight?
Yeah.
And I realized, right,
awesome.
But see, the whole point I'm trying to get with all that is that I'm not thinking about the show in the morning. I'm probably just trying to get out of bed. But at that moment, I know Kelly is. And I know that when Kelly is in, and I'm not, I know you are, Barbara. So, Karen said that we did 6 months worth of work within a week is because we were motivating each other. And what's kind of funny is that nobody was paid. I mean, we did it because we love doing it. So it was kind of like what Kelly is doing is basically what Kelly does is when the phone rings, boom, 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 do we have a show tonight? And of course, I say to Kelly, no, we don't. And then what does Kelly say?
Why not?
Why?
Or then you listen to it, and then Barbara's like, oh. And then Barbara's like, why don't we have a show tonight? I want to do one every single day. And then we're like, okay, let's do it every day.
Exactly.
Right? And we can motivate each other. It's awesome.
There's now a reason, there's a community, and it's shared. Now, the thing is, I was trying to come up with the right wording for this because people, sometimes, people tend to use words to describe someone to put them on a higher pedestal. And I've always worried that whenever somebody says, well, Johnny started it, and I look at it like, it was like, but, I'm starting it as only part of it. I mean, it's sort of like it takes a village to raise this baby, and the 3 of us. I mean, it really, me starting it was not enough. I mean, it's sort of like, I think that I might have been the founder, but I think you and Kelly are going to be the legacy.
Oh, well, thank you, but I think you're going to be part of that legacy. Thank you.
Because,
it
needs to be. I mean, because if I think me saying that makes it okay, people feel okay with me saying I'm the founder, because something has to be started, but something needs to be made to blossom. You can plant a flower, but you got to have some people watering it. And I like the fact that it's sort of like, I've always tried to, even though I'm not perfect, but I try to keep things on an even playing field, as far as, and it's not always been easy. I mean, like for instance, what?
You do, though. Isn't he, Kelly, so fair, and he doesn't want anybody to feel like it's not equal, and he could. I mean, he's the founder and the creator. He could try to get all of the credit for everything.
That's something that I've never been, that's something that has at times make me a little bit anxious. It is true. I could, in theory, call a rank. But,
But why? I want to know that. I mean, why? I want to know, not that that's wrong. I think that's great. But why? How are you that way? Is it how you were raised? I mean, you're so very humble.
Well,
and
I will say this.
So
I will say this. This is something.
Indie at all.
I will say this. I have absolutely no leadership skills, but I'm a great team worker. I have never wanted to be the boss of a company, but I wanted to work on the team that wins. I've never been, I mean, seriously, I've always imagined if this thing becomes a company, it's just, I really do not want to be viewed as the CEO. I mean, it's just, that would be weird and uncomfortable for me. But if it's like, oh, well, the team is Johnny, Kelly, and Barbara. Johnny, Kelly, and Barbara, I like the idea of it. It's just that anytime, I've never been very good at making, like, the final decision on something. And I think that's one of the reasons I don't drive. Okay? It's so funny. I've been able to drive when I have someone else in the car and they have a steering wheel. But because, you see what I'm saying? It's somebody else making decisions along with me. And I noticed that. But when it comes time to actually, when you're driving, you have to make the final decision. And I stink at making the final decision.
But really, in all,
what?
But, all in all, though, with all that said, that really is a leadership quality, really is you making it a team. And that is working so well. Isn't that a leadership quality in itself, that you're able to take the back seat as the driver and allow?
I think I've asked you both this question, but I mean, do you think you would be working as hard on the show if the show were the Johnny Show and somebody else said the book stops here? I mean, would you be texting the head of the show saying, "Do we have a show tonight?" Would you be posting on Facebook the links to the upcoming shows, Kelly and Barbara? I mean, what's your answer to that?
Not as excitedly, because this is more of a group project, and it's more of a for everyone, for our audience, for each other, for everybody.
Yeah, and it would be like that back and feeling of, in the background, this feeling of, okay, well, are we going to help you with your show today? And
right.
It would be that. And just the fact that you're making it all equal, yes, it totally makes a difference. It really does.
Well, see, I am envisioning, and I know that we talked about the photo shoot, but I'm going to say something that I envision happening. And I think Karen sort of said this, so I'm going to go ahead and say this to you, Kelly. She is envisioning the photo shoot looking more like a gathering, that there's going to be a room full of people helping us out with the photo shoot, like Robin, and everybody, and I'm not saying they would be in the photo shoot; it would be just us. And I think
kind of a behind the scenes. Why not have some behind the scenes, like where nobody's paying attention? And those shots are really fun to have. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, but like for example, your friend Miss Dan, who's going to help me pick out the clothes. When you have people behind the scenes, it means, because seriously, that says right. Well, this is what it says right there: is that you have a bunch of people in a room who want to see the show do well. Now, if this were the Johnny Show, I couldn't have a gathering for the Johnny Show. Can you imagine? Seriously, I mean, going across country for that. Can you imagine that? I mean, seriously.
Right.
I mean, can you imagine how egotistical that would look like? Kelly is in a Lexus. She's driving across country. Okay, people are stopping her. Well, what are you doing? Well, I'm doing a cross country show for the Johnny Show. I'm having to put it on my car. I mean, it's just so. I mean, talk about an ego. I mean, for goodness sake. Oh, you see what I'm talking about, Kelly?
Why are you doing that? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
Nobody, no show. That show is not worth a road trip. Okay, it's not. I'm sorry. Ian, I've seen other shows where they are named after the host. Okay, and I'm telling you that the host panics to death. It's entirely too much pressure. I mean, why not have it be a group? Most podcasts are designed in such a way that they give all the power to one person. And I asked Karen the other night. I said, Karen, do you know, you've been in radio for 40 years. Do you know of a whole lot of shows that are designed like I've designed it, where it's a mutual decision amongst all three of us? And she goes, not many.
Mhm. Well,
just,
we commend you for having that attitude, and it is working really well. And we just want everybody to know how kind and sweet you are. And it's like he has never said, oh, don't do it that way or do it this way, and being demanding or belittling or anything of that nature. He's just so kind and so supportive and just fair. And, I mean, it's really, really very apparent, his attitude.
Now,
Kelly, I mean, your parents raised a really good man, which is you, Johnny.
I'm going to tell you, I've had a lot of people on the show, but you and Kelly are very unique. Kelly, this is how you were both unique. You were both unique in the sense that you understood what I wanted to do, and it was like, I think that the moment Kelly came on the show, and she did the first Chakra Day, I don't know if that was the day that she decided that she wanted to keep coming back and doing other shows, or if it was when we were interviewing Joe Cara. Which was it?
Oh yeah, it was such an exciting time when I got brought on board. Do you remember like me saying, oh my gosh, that was the best show ever, and then we'd have another show, oh my gosh, that was the best one, and then it was like each one seemed to be better than the one before, and now and then Brian's like, then you had me on, but it's it's like that, but it's really, each one is very special, and it's hard to say that there's a favorite because, you know, each guest that we have on, each caller that we've had on, they all have their own, you know, way of seeing things and expressing themselves, and I learn a lot from each show.
Me too. That is so true.
Do you have a favorite show, Barbara?
I was going to say, I was that way too in the beginning. Oh, I think that's the best show, or this is the best show. But now it is. Like, every show is great. I'm feeling as well. And it's just we get this kind of way about us, how we just go through the show now, and it seems just so seamless. Whereas when we were getting to know each other, that was interesting and different. But, you know, when you're not all in the same room and seeing each other, your mouth, and you cannot read mouths and you cannot see, you know, how we are, our body language, then it takes a while to, you know, get to know each other's rhythm and when somebody's done with their points and things like that. But you know what? That happened really quickly with us, I believe. And our personalities go so well together, and we each bring something so different, but yet it goes so well together. Do you guys feel that way too?
Absolutely. Yeah, it is getting easier to not talk over each other. And that was kind of like,
I mean, but you know, like another point is it has to do with the community. Like, for instance, like I'll give you another example. Back to the community, I was going to make a point about the community. You know, I do not think if this were the Johnny show that you'd be having your own RD for the show. I mean, come on.
Probably not.
I mean, I mean.
I'd probably say, this thing isn't good enough for Johnny. I'll just forget. I won't even, try. Johnny probably has a limo or something he'd rather use. You know, stuff like that. But everything, like, Johnny will be, happy with everything, you know, that we do. And that, I really feel loved. I feel like you admire us and love us, and that, you know, we are so appreciated. So thank you so much for that.
Yeah, thank you. And we appreciate each other.
Let me ask you this. I know you don't have a favorite show, Kelly, but did you have a moment where you felt the most appreciated since you've been doing the show?
Well, I'd have to go back to that time where you said, and this is my co-host Kelly, and I about fell off my chair. Then I did the happy dance.
That's what you said later on. It's like, well, I did a little happy dance, and I did this.
How did it go down? It's like, oh, and Kelly makes me feel good about your guys' choice with me, too, because from my understanding, wasn't she the one who said it first about
That's
me?
correct. That's correct.
Oh.
She made that call. It was her call that you be co-host, absolutely. Because we did it that way because I didn't want Kelly to feel like anybody was taking over the show or anybody was monopolizing anything. I wanted it to be, it was her mouth, it came out of her mouth, the words, I think we found a third co-host. Yep, that was exactly what she said.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, Kelly.
Because you're welcome. Because we'd already had somebody try to take over the show, and I was like, I don't see Barbara trying to do that. You know, you really seem to care about other people, and you're a team player, and I could tell that right away. And it was like, yep, you're welcome. I was like, yep.
So authentic.
I think we found her.
And, you know, the way it all happened, too, is just so authentic with you, how you first were on the show, and then you took such a love for it, and then I did, too. And, I mean, now anybody who comes on the show, they can feel assured that, you know, we care about them. We care about them, what they have to say, who they are, helping them, because that's how we started.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could see that excitement with you and that, you know, that this was really something you were interested in. You had, like, that firelight under you like I did. And I was like, yes, we found her.
Well, thanks. And it's not even just that, it's a show.
Thank you.
A minute, John. It's not just that it's, this is a show and I want to be on a show. It wasn't even like that when I first started. I just felt like when I was talking, I didn't even think that anybody was really, of course I knew it's a radio show and people are listening, but I didn't really pay attention to that. It just never seemed like an issue that people were listening and, is that question okay? I mean, how do I sound? No, I just was me. I just would ask the questions. I just talked and I just, elaborated with what you guys were saying. So it was really, really authentic, and I still feel that way. But you know how some people come on and they're very nervous. They're very nervous with just being on a show. And for some reason that affects them. So, hey, you get the real thing here. We're real.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I love to listen back to the show when I first introduced her as a co-host. I wanted to see if I could detect the shock in her voice. She's like, "Thank you." That's how you said it, Kelly. Like, "Thank you."
I was not expecting it. That's for sure.
Wow, I know. When I was on, I didn't even know you guys were maybe thinking of having another co-host. I had no idea. I didn't know that. I didn't know maybe this was my semi interview for that position. I had no idea.
Well, we didn't really think of it as that. It just kind of like became that, like, wow, this really worked. Hey,
I sort of viewed it like this.
Oh.
I mean, at some point, the reason, one of the main things that you need to understand, because the show is not named after one person, because it's named after a concept and not a person, you eventually come to grips with certain things, and that is that you can only do so much yourself. You can only get so much done yourself. I could only do so much myself. I mean, and, when Kelly was on, and one of the ones was the Amira show, and I don't know if she remembers this or not. Maybe she does. She probably does. We were waiting for Amira to call in, and I said to Kelly, I said, "I'm so happy that you're here because I would really hate to be doing this alone." I mean, I'm telling you, but see, this is something that a lot of people don't understand. Karen Page used to work with Regis Philbin, and as I understand it, Regis Philbin is on the Guinness Book of World Records as being on television more than any other person. Now, if you notice, Kathy Lee quit the show with Regis and Kathy Lee. They didn't just leave it just for Regis, right? They went and they replaced her, right? So
Right.
the point I'm trying to get at here is that I think I've learned that even the people who have been on and have experience, they never do it alone. They never do it alone. It just doesn't work. I mean, it never do it alone. Now, I've had people on who are co-hosts. I think the difference is, though, one person that I worked with was Linda Gross, which was the first lady that Kelly did Chakras for. The problem, well, not really a problem, but this was, I think, the difference between Kelly and Linda. And Linda's a good friend of mine. She's a very, very good friend of mine. Is I think when Linda came on, she said, "Okay, Johnny, it's your show." Yeah. And I said, okay, you know, but that didn't feel like whenever somebody would say to me in the early interviews, "It's your show, it's your," oh, God. It made me very, very uncomfortable. It made me uncomfortable because it automatically makes me feel like I'm in charge. And I don't know. I mean,
like,
now,
oh,
if
hey,
someone...
Johnny, it's your show. Make it interesting right now, right this second. It's a lot of
it's
pressure,
right.
too. I don't think you like that kind of pressure. It's like you want to share. You want other people's feedback. And, well, that brings me to the question, like, how many years did you really do it alone? And then tell us a little bit about it, because you've told Kelly and I before off the air how that was when you did the show by yourself and say nobody even showed up. And you had this hour-long segment of, what did you do? Tell us what you did.
Well, I mean, what you do is you delete the show, but see, there's still awkwardness because you say, okay, we're waiting for the guest. Okay, we're waiting for the guest. And it's kind of like, do I really want, you know, that's just not very professional. It doesn't sound professional. It sounds very amateurish. It really does. It doesn't. It doesn't paint the image of an actual show. It doesn't. Right. You know, I think that, you know, when I had someone there to kind of bounce off of, then it really mattered. And it wasn't until I think Kelly came along when Kelly would be like, she you know, it was really cute the way she would suck up to me. It was so cute. I mean, Kelly would say things like, well, you know, one of my cousins dated one of the monkeys, you know, and I'm like, yeah, it's okay. All right? I know you want to come in tomorrow. It's all right. You know, it was so cute the way she would say, you know, I can help you get guests. I can help you out with it. So, and I was just saying, it's okay, Kelly. It's okay. You know, you have a medium on tomorrow. Oh, my God, that's great. Oh, my God. And then I very calmly said to Kelly, okay, Kelly, you can calm down. I will. And, I mean, I'm not trying to embarrass you, but I know you're probably blushing, right, Kelly?
Yep, I am right now. Yep.
I mean, all this indirect, it was a very, very indirect way you would say, listen, I want to come back tomorrow. Please let me come in tomorrow.
Yeah.
Well, I want to ask you guys, when you did the show, so many shows, because when I came along, I remember right after that we were celebrating Kelly's 70th show, and that was an amazing thought. And I was thinking, wow, well, has there been any, because I haven't listened to every single show. I have been listening to a lot of your past shows, but so I want to know from you guys, has there been anybody who you thought, oh, that was a little weird or different, or I don't agree with what they said? Because, I mean, in the paranormal world, there's a lot of different ideas out there. Was there shows like that you felt that way about, you guys?
I will say, if I can answer first. I think the ones on time travel are always hard because nobody can really agree on how to do it. I mean, there's so many different views on it that eventually everybody's right and everybody's wrong at the same time, and parallel universes and all this stuff. I'm not putting those things down, but I think that you need to have. I think the parallels, when someone talks about the paranormal, supernatural, and there's no middle ground. You know, in other words, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's like somebody selling you to believe in something, but they don't. Whenever someone tries to convince you of something is true, the first thing they do is they start off by naming a point that you agree with. Okay. The problem is that these people, they will go on and they don't do this. So like they'll say, you know, it's like if I was to start up an argument with you about whether or not the world was a beautiful place, and I said the world is a beautiful place because there's children in it. Now, that fact about there being children in it, you agree with me. But if I said the world is a beautiful place because Lincoln was assassinated by aliens, I've automatically started it on a point that you're not going to agree with. And, and the problem is that with the psychics that we've had on, I like it because there's a nice, comfortable environment where, and I'm sure Kelly understands what I'm talking about, where you can talk to a psychic and feel comfortable and not be judged. And I also like the idea of sharing the interview and not pushing people away. Like, I think, you know, case in point, the one where I said Kelly was my co-host. One of the many reasons I said she was my co-host is because I wanted her to stay the full hour. I wanted her to ask questions. I felt she's earned it. I mean, you know, she had done so many work on the show, and it was an earned title. I mean, it was, you know, we clicked and, you know, and plus she was so excited about talking to the medium. And I think that what I'm also going to say is that I love Kelly to death, and I know that there have been times when people have said they were going to do things for her and then they didn't pull through. And I didn't want to build up Kelly's hope because I knew her hope was being built up with talking to the medium. And I didn't want to pull the rug out from under her with that medium show.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes.
Because
it really, I mean, I wanted it to be everything that you wanted. You know, it wasn't, you know.
That's great. Oh, but you know what? The same thing goes for now that, you know, she is choosing guests and so am I, that we care about these people. We don't just want them on because it's a show. We want to, you know, have them on, and we want to have a psychic that we trust, and that is really good. Right. So I think that having the different psychics on has been very interesting. But now that we have chosen our main Life, Laughter, Happiness psychic that we can attach really our name of the show to, that we are proud of that person and that we do trust her and she is good and reputable, and that people are going to have an enjoyable experience, because that's a lot on us to have psychics on, have our guests or a friend even of ours as a guest, and then they have to leave with that advice. I mean, which can be life-changing if they take advice. So that's a lot of responsibility. Do you guys feel that that is a bit of a responsibility on our part? Because I feel a lot more relieved that we do have Karen as our Life, Laughter, Happiness psychic that I trust and love.
Yeah, me too. Plus, you know, if she wouldn't have repeat.
If I can get Karen on the phone?
If you like.
Oh,
she wouldn't
hold
have
on. What was Kelly going to say? What Kelly was going to make a point. Kelly, what were you going to say?
Karen wouldn't have repeat clients for 40, some of them for 40 years with her if she wasn't any good or reputable. And she's been all over the world. Yeah, and I found out she even spoke for NASA.
Oh, wow. I mean, it's a sense of pride that we have having her as our regular psychic. It's really, I feel a lot of pride that we do. And you know what's so cool is that we all agreed on her. Yeah. We all felt the same about her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, great. Yeah. And so, sure, do you want to get her on the phone too, Kelly?
Sure, yeah.
She's not
if
there.
She's available.
Oh,
okay.
She's not there.
Yeah. She had an appointment earlier, so she might still be there.
Okay, and that just makes me think of something, though. Her not being there is like, it makes me think of something that, Johnny, when you, for example, had the show alone and that somebody didn't call in who was the guest and they just were a no-show. Now, that was horrible for you, but for us, the three of us now, that's happened it doesn't happen very often, but a couple of times it's happened. And you know what? Those end up to be some of our best shows with the best quality talk. Yes.
We all talk.
I love those shows. Yeah.
No.
I mean, that's what must make Johnny feel so good. To feel okay, secure, and I'm not alone.
Yeah.
What was that?
Oh, yeah.
The show is now able to handle, a lot of different situations much more so than it did before. I mean, I have people excited enough to website. I have people excited enough to make us admins on a website. I have. We might want to talk to Barbara about the show about how to log in and everything. But I mean, then there is the. There's people. Now we have a Twitter account. It's
an Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah. And all of those are based on the philosophy that, it's going to grow. People want to see it get bigger. Like I'll give you an example. With the Twitter. I talked to two people that we've had on. Elkie and Miss Sand. Okay. And they both said that they would, they would follow me and get people to follow us. See?
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So, see, now it just goes with the philosophy that, Barbara, you can do a lot, but you can't do alone. You understand?
Right.
And it's okay to say, well, listen, I can't do this all by myself. I mean, Karen says the show would be known worldwide. That's not something that I have the capacity to do all by myself. I mean...
Oh, gosh, yeah. That'd be a lot.
Yeah, and being on the cover of Time, yes, that's a goal. I can't do that myself, but it can happen. Or the idea that we can get a lot of really great guests on. That's fine. I can't do that myself. I mean, it's sort of like I've always used the analogy of the 500-pound boulder. At least I don't have to push the boulder by myself. At least there's you two, say, in Karen, and your friends pushing it with me.
Right. Yes, and really, in the idea when Kelly said, "Oh, I want this to be a community," I liked that so much, and I wasn't really sure what does that entail. But now, understanding that, it is wonderful because once you've been on the show, or our regular listeners, they know that they have, and what you described as a safe place, Johnny. You say, "I want somebody to have a safe place."
I have a question for Kelly, because you're the first person ever to use the show as a community, to describe the show as a community. What made you see it as that? The first thing that made you see it that way?
Well, it just felt like a big family. It felt like all the guests, all the callers, that we're all pulling for each other. And you don't find that just anywhere. And it just people that are open-minded and actually listen to each other and supportive of each other. And it became a community. It became a family of chosen, people. It really is not just a show. It's all and the whole concept behind the Life, Laughter, Happiness, everybody's a part of it. Anybody that knows anything about it, that's called in, that's talked to us, that have done things behind the scenes, that have helped promote it, but, their names aren't out there, all those people are part of this. They're part of this family, this community. So it's not just the three of us or the three of us with Karen.
And another thing I'm going to say to that, this is another thing that sort of made me go the Life, Laughter, Happiness road. Many years ago, there was, you know who Chevy Chase is, right?
Yeah, I think he's from Kansas.
Okay, well, he, many years ago, Chevy Chase, they gave him a talk show. Okay. And it did terribly. I mean, it was off the air in 6 weeks. It was just the worst, ratings. It was just, everything was horrible. I mean, nobody liked it. It was just, but the thing is everybody blamed him for the show being a failure. I mean, they said, okay, this is, Chevy Chase, if you had, done, you really screwed up, And I thought about it, and I began to realize that maybe the blame wasn't all on his shoulders. Maybe, I mean, at the end of a show, there are credits, and there are a lot of names. There's a lot of names, I mean, on those credits. And every time he would go out there would be writers. There would be, makeup men. There would be a lot of things. And so my question is, is this possible that maybe the team didn't do so well, or, maybe they said that he wanted more writers, but they didn't give it to him. Well, what if they did? I mean, what if they gave him more writers and would the show have been better? Now, this is the thing, is that we keep forgetting when we see a show, we forget that because the name of the show was the Chevy Chase Show. Okay?
Yeah.
We keep forgetting that. We forget that. We forget a show like Stephen Colbert has an entire team that works for him, or Conan O'Brien has an entire team that works for him, and that's always forgotten. But if you kind of say, okay, this is Life, Laughter, Happiness, remember, we're working as a team here, everybody is going to work that much harder because, when you really think about it, we've had things happen to us like the RV and, we're probably going to be getting an intro, all those other things simply because people want to see those things happen. You understand?
Yeah.
And I'm not putting down Oprah Winfrey, but what I'm saying is this is the reason I don't think I can get away with it. Maybe Oprah can get away with it, but I can't. But I was watching Oprah one time, and I don't know if either of you felt like this or not. I mean, if you thought this. I'm watching Oprah, right? And then the topic was something like parents who abuse their children or something like that, right? And then what was happening was they went to commercial, and then they flashed the name on the screen, Oprah, big letters.
Yeah.
And I realized that when I saw the name, I had forgotten everything that I had heard about the guests. You know?
Yeah.
And I got to thinking, if you were on Oprah, would anybody really remember? Would they remember you, or would they remember Oprah? And it just seems to me that 9 times out of 10, I'm the guy on the show who really doesn't say a whole lot, but that's fine, because I'm okay with people remembering, the guests more than they remember me, because the guest is what's important, because it makes guests want to come on. But to go on Oprah, I just feel like sometimes I wonder if the name Oprah is, they flash that name on the screen, and then it's distracting everybody from what the guests are talking about. Now, did either of you ever notice that?
Yeah, or like Ricky Lake or any of those, really.
Well,
Yes.
yeah. See, I mean, have you ever noticed that, Barbara?
Yes, I have. You do tend to forget, and I am so proud that we make our guests the center of attention. We really do. And you know what? It's different. Our show is different in the way that we aren't looking for something to sensationalize and what most weird thing can we get on, because we could probably find it with this subject matter. We don't even think like that. We think about our main focus, and our drive is to help people and to help them on their spiritual quest and positivity, because I definitely would not have accepted this if it was the other way, because I can only do this if it's positive. And that's another reason why I think that I got really addicted and I couldn't wait to do the show every single day, because it was uplifting me. I mean, it really has changed my life for the better, because I'm so much more aware of my every second that I live. Is this good quality living? Is this positive? And if it's not, I can come back and ask questions. And how can I get rid of this bad energy? And then I have Kelly to help me with that. And then just talking things out with you guys. I mean, it's just, and the support and the love. And Kelly knows that so well too, because she has had injuries and, things happen in life that are hard. And to go that alone, that is tough. And it really has changed my life. So thank you guys for that so much. And we're all on the same page as far as the helping people thing. I really feel that. And I really, really hold that very valuable here. I really.
What about you, Kelly?
Well, thank you. Well, I know that personally I have grown leaps and bounds in a very short time. And a lot of it has to do with the show. I mean, it's forming good habits. It's having things to look forward to. It's having the support of everyone. It's, knowing that I'm not going it alone. And, that there are other people out there experiencing similar things, or have done that, or, will be doing that. And it's comforting to know that you aren't going through things alone. I mean, and I didn't really have that before. So this is all new. And it's like I can finally relax and be myself and not have to worry, is somebody going to take this the wrong way? Is somebody going to take this and run? And it's based on positivity and helping each other. So, how could it be anything but good when, the whole foundation of it is based on those things?
Yes, and Kelly, because you are gifted and you're a light worker, and a lot of times people who have that gift growing up, we know, are condemned or they're made fun of. And that one show when somebody didn't show up, and you and I went and talked for that whole hour when I just had started, and we both found out about each other that we went through very similar things in school with people attacking us and things like that. And it just, oh my gosh, you've been validated so much because how Johnny holds you up on a pedestal basically because you are so gifted and wonderful and kind, and we call you pure love. And that is just like, it just keeps you going. It's this drive under you that keeps you going every day. It gives you a skip in your step. And then when Johnny says, oh, Barbara, you're so good at marketing, and just comments on some qualities that I have, that keeps me going through my day. And I'm just excited to wake up and get going with my day. So, I mean, for goodness sakes, how wonderful is that? And remember when we first started and maybe we didn't have that many listeners. And I thought, it doesn't matter, because if we help just one person, the whole show is worth it. Just one. Yeah.
Yeah. And gosh, you are pure love and pure light too. I mean, and
thank you.
My gosh, you're welcome. You're one of the smartest people I know. And
oh my goodness.
It's just, yes, you are like a sweet soul sister, you know, and I just, gosh, I can't wait to meet you and give you a great big hug.
Oh, thank you. And at this point, I might just cry. You guys asked me that a long time ago, and I'm like, I don't know if I would cry. If I would. But now, I mean, I love you guys so much. I might just cry.
I've actually done that before, and I'm getting close right now.
So emotional, isn't it? I mean, this doesn't happen every day to people. Sometimes it doesn't happen in their whole lifetime that something like this happens.
Yeah.
What was that?
What do you mean getting close right now, Kelly? What do you mean?
Oh, I think we're both like really close to crying happy tears.
Yes, we are.
Oh, you mean like right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, like right now.
She's right.
Yep.
I almost did. I was getting a little choked up there.
Yeah. I mean, this is like beautiful. I just love this every day. Oh my gosh, how lucky are we to do this and have each other, and it just, you know, pull each other through things. It's just wow, you know. I just
a major blessing.
Like, yeah. It's like, pinch me. Is this real? I mean, this is like great. You know, my
I know,
life
because oh yes, it could have been anybody, but I love what Karen Page says. She always says nothing happens by accident. Everything happens for a reason. And I always felt that, you know, that's kind of how I really deeply felt. But doesn't that make you feel so great that we all came together? So, you know what? We don't have to make it work. It just works. But it makes you just, you're holding this sacred almost. You're holding it like it's such a valuable thing. You're not going to let anybody, you're not going to let this stop. And so that's like a driving force. And I think that when Johnny was talking about those other shows that were not successful, they didn't have what we have.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I thought about this just now. Had I not fallen at work and had you not fallen in Mexico, we might not be here right now.
That I really believe that. I believe that so much, Kelly. I do, because the way, I mean, the amount of junk mail that I get from people I don't know is so much. I miss a lot of it coming in, and I just have that extra time laying there, healing, trying to heal, to check through all my messages. And there's Johnny's, and I thought, how in the world does this person with his radio show, who's offering me a chakra healing, know about my accident? Oh, they must have seen the GoFundMe, and I'll get right back to them because I need all the love and help I can get. Whatever they're doing, I'm going to do it, you know. And that was my mentality. I probably never would have seen that message. She's so right when she says that, because I probably wouldn't have seen the message, or I just, who knows, wouldn't have gotten back to you in time, or I could be getting back to you right now, and I wouldn't have had all those shows under my belt right now. Or maybe I never would have, and then
Yeah.
you would have had somebody else.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
well, who knows? I mean, and with me, with all the hours I was working, it could have ended up where I wasn't on the show very much, which would really not be good because my life would have
I have a
taken
question.
very
Do
sad
either of you
turn.
have show dreams? Do either of you have show dreams?
Sometimes.
I still didn't hear that. Do we have what?
Show
Dreams.
dreams.
Dreams about the show.
Oh, I never told you, but I did have one. Oh my gosh, I had one, and it was kind of a silly, funny one that I was interviewing I was out at a concert, and this was before you even have the idea to go to a concert. Kelly, I was at a concert, and I was interviewing this really hot musician, lead singer of some band. This was my dream. And I said, now look into the camera and say, now you are with Life, Laughter, Happiness, and stay tuned, or, whatever I said to him.
Oh,
But
wow.
I had the title there in my dream, and I told him, and he turned to the camera, and he said it. And then, but he was so, like, sexy and hot, and not even somebody real. It was in my mind, in my dream, this hot musician, singer guy. And I woke up, and I'm like, hey, I finally had my Life, Laughter, Happiness dream.
I had one
wow.
the other night. I had one the other night, and you can tell Miss Sand about it because she was in it. Apparently, what happened was, I think this was a weird. I don't know. It must have been one where I was talking to Miss Sand or something by video or something, and she came on the camera. And then this very angry guy came to the camera and punched me in the face.
Whoa!
Oh my goodness, that was funny. That wasn't like mine.
But I mean, you can tell her that. Apparently, I think what it is, I was interviewing Miss Sand, and then as soon as I got her on the camera, this other guy came and punched me in the face. So, what are some of your dreams, Kelly?
Mine have to do with the road trip on the way to the photo shoot and like meeting people that are excited about the show and being in really cool locations. And then, oh my gosh, meeting you guys in person. That is going to be so wild. It's just going to be like, I can't even, like, I try not to, like, try to figure out ahead of time what it's going to feel like, but it's just going to be so emotional when we finally meet.
I know. What a wonderful idea.
I'm curious about something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
it's obviously, I mean, someone's going to have to pick me up from the airport. But I'll tell you what. Did I ever tell you? I think, did I ever tell you too about what I did with my ex-girlfriend?
No.
That's a broad
Did
question.
I ever tell you this story? Okay. Well, there was this is what happened. She was really nervous about meeting me, and I flew her down to Florida. And I told her, I said, now, you don't need to be anxious about this, but the first time, her name was Diane, and I told her that the first time you meet me, you're going to know it's me. Because, you see this airport, right? Okay? And after I get done telling you the story, I just want to let you know, if you want to do something else with me, you can. But don't tell me what you're going to do. Just let me say the story. So what I did was I told her, I said, because when you're in an airport, there's a lot of people, right? So I wanted her to see me, know right away that it was me, right away. What had happened was, whenever we would talk on the chat line, what would happen is she would get disconnected, and then she would come back, and then she would write in the chat line, "Are you there? Are you here? Are you there? Are you here?" You've never heard this story before?
Oh, yeah, I have, but I don't know if Barbara has, and I know the listeners probably haven't.
Well, But anyway, Barbara, this is the story. Okay. So what I did was I had my mom make up a sign that says, "Are you here?" on it. And I waited for her to get off the airplane. And as soon as she came towards me and she saw the sign, she started laughing her head off. The point I'm trying to get at is it was romantic. It made me look a little stupid, but it let everybody know who I was. And I got to thinking, if you want to do something like that with me, you can. Just don't tell me what you're going to put on the sign.
Okay.
Okay.
That's cool.
That means that you probably want.
What?
What?
What'd you say? What Barbara say? Hello?
Barbara, are you there?
Can he?
Yeah, I'm here. Are you there, Kelly?
I'm here.
Barbara, are you there?
Hear me?
We
I
can
can hear
now.
you.
Oh, thank God. I was
That was
talking.
weird.
I don't know what happened.
But I just thought, what do you think of the whole idea behind the sign?
Uh-oh.
I think she might be on mute.
Or she wasn't sure she would have good reception at her mom's. Maybe she went to a different room.
Yeah, she got disconnected just now. She got disconnected just now. Let me text her.
Okay.
Okay. Are you laughing?
I am. Yeah, I'm laughing. Radio silence. Radio silence. Yeah.
I'm going to call Barbara back.
Okay.
In the beginning.
So we'll.
Funny, anyway.
So yeah, we'll fill up the airwaves with talking, I guess.
Okay, I'm going to go call Barbara back.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Barbara?
Yes,
we can hear you.
Oh my goodness, I lost you guys for a while, and then my phone said enable Wi-Fi calling, and I thought that's strange because it was going just fine, and so who knows? Maybe I turned off that setting, but I never even knew I had turned it off. So, well, I'm back. I'm sorry I missed that.
But let me ask you this question about the sign. So, what did you think of the sign idea, Barbara?
Well, I think it's great, and I think that now I have an idea of what I'm going to do when I pick you up from the airport.
And actually, Kelly, let me ask you this, Kelly. If you had to make up a sign that Brian would recognize, that only Brian would recognize, what would you put on the sign?
Good question. I'd have to think about that.
I know.
Well,
okay, you know what? I hope that Kelly's already arrived so we can pick up together.
Well, I'd be driving.
I know
Yeah.
that.
So
we got to plan that, Kelly, and we got to figure out a sign. Well, do you want to pick him up? And he's so funny because not all of us playmates walk around and grocery shop in bikinis. But one time on a show, he's like, "Oh, do you think you could ever do like blue jeans and go to the grocery store and wear that?" I'm like, I never have done that in my life. So I don't know. We'll have to do something kind of funny. We'll have to wear those T-shirts that have that on them. But I mean, that's kind of funny. But we'll do something. We'll have to create some kind of a sign, and we're gonna have to wear some kind of special outfit, and so we won't be missed because you don't know how we look at all, right, Johnny?
Yeah.
Johnny,
Yeah, that would, yeah.
it's supposed to be a joke.
No, I
I
know.
think it went up, yeah.
I heard
So
you.
funny. He's like, what are they gonna do? We're gonna do something that is gonna kind of raise a lot of attention.
Yes.
No? Are we talking like,
I think he wants that, Kelly. What do you think?
huh, okay, I've got a corset, you've got a bikini, we'll figure something out.
Oh my God, that's funny.
I'm kidding. But yeah, Brian's being silly over here. He said, should I say it? He said he'll be naked with a Jar Jar Binks mask.
Oh my goodness. Oh, we're gonna totally embarrass you. Just kidding. We're gonna think of something fun. You know, maybe we will have our entourage.
Yes.
Maybe we'll get our people that care in our community over there, and we'll think
Like
of
Elkie
something.
and Elkie and the Sand. Yeah, that'd be good.
Yes, and by then we will have a lot more people in our community. Maybe they will all come
What's
down.
actually kind
and
of
we're
funny though
going
is
to-
I thought about this. I thought because I said that I thought it'll be great if Elkie and Miss Sand and you all help me out with my makeover. And then I thought I just hope they don't put me in pajamas and give me a cigar.
All right.
We figured out what time it would be for Brian. It would be I live you, because I mistyped it the first time I said it. I put I live you, so I put that on his poster.
That is so funny. I've heard that before, that people do that, and because it's really true. It's like, you're living, you're breathing, and you're thinking about them constantly. So you do live them. Yeah. I mean, people make that mistake a lot, Kelly.
Wow. Yeah. Well, that makes sense now. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That does make sense. It was kind of a slip of the brain, I guess. Yeah, that's cute. I like it. Yes, we got to figure out one. For Jonathan. Does that answer your question, ma'am?
What?
Well, the poster for you would be, does that answer your question, ma'am?
You're not supposed to tell me that.
Well, I'm just saying that could be one, but that won't be necessarily the one that we would use. But, that would be funny because it's something that you say.
Yeah, life after happiness. I live you, you make me laugh, and you make me happy.
Oh, that's really cute. I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody loves the name of the show, too. I've gotten that a lot. Oh, wow, what a great title. And you thought about that for a long time, didn't you, Johnny? How did you – tell us a little bit about how you came up with the title to the show.
Well, I mean, it's a concept. Now, I will say the only downside that I've had to the title is that people often remember it wrong. Like, I'll say to people, they'll be like, life after happiness, life with, but see, on the other side of the coin, I mean, once you start saying it enough, it floats off the tongue. It's easy. But I look at it like this. You cannot run and not do a person. You cannot do a concept. So it's like you can't, if you want to compete with the show, you have to outdo the concept. You cannot do a person. You cannot do us, but you cannot do the concept. And that's why I created that title. Because it's something that, in the end, you can only agree with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You understand?
Like, who doesn't want that? Yeah.
But it could be life, laughter, love, life, laughter. It could be anything. It could be 3 words positive words, but you came up with life, laughter, happiness, and you can't give me more ideas or like reasons why you chose those 3 words exactly. Did you talk it over with your mom and dad and your sister?
I think it was a universal name that could potentially have anybody as a guest, which was, the name allows anybody to be the guest, anybody to be a guest on any conceivable topic. And the reason that's important is there are shows that I've seen that have a lot of viewers, but they're pigeonholed to one topic. And I got to thinking, like, okay, I think I've said this before. Like the 9/11 analogy. I think I told Kelly this. I'm sure I've told Kelly this, but I don't know if I ever told you this. It's 9/11, and you've got a cooking show. You think anybody wants to talk about lasagna? I mean, nobody does. Everybody was upset. One or two things were, if you were on television during 9/11, one or two things were true. Either people were talking about 9/11 or the things that were normally on were not on. And with my show, see, when I was in college, I found myself just joining mailing lists just for fun, just for fun, and I joined a law enforcement mailing list just for fun, and I realized something that one night, it was the night that Princess Diana passed away. She had been in the car accident, and I went on the law enforcement news group, and I found about 5 or 6 people talking about Princess Diana. And not that that's a bad thing, but eventually somebody had to come. Eventually somebody said on the list, listen, this is a law enforcement news group. I'm sorry about what happened, but why are we talking about Princess Diana? And I got to thinking that it's sort of like, wouldn't it be great to have a forum where we didn't have to stop talking about Princess Diana? If something like that were to happen. I mean, on my show, there would no need to stop. There would be no need to stop the show because we could talk about Princess Diana. Now, I'm sure
so
you understand what I'm saying.
Yes. How smart of you.
But you understand what I'm saying, Kelly?
Yeah, that is really smart.
Like, our show is designed to talk about a tragedy, and it doesn't immediately shut down because of a tragedy. I mean, we talk about it. The 9/11. If 9/11 had happened during the course of the show, it didn't. We would be able to talk about it. We're able to. That's the advantages of having a show where anybody can be a guest. And that's one of the things I loved about Kelly and her Chakra Days, is because anybody can be a guest. And now this is one of the things that I really love, and this is the thing that's kind of neat, is that Kelly can walk around in her shirt, be in a room of 20 people, and tell everybody about the show.
Yep.
And it's if this were a cooking show, you couldn't do that. You would be in a room with 20 people, and then you're not going to be able to go up to 20 people and say, "You want to talk about lasagna? Do you want to talk?" No, it would never work. Okay.
Exactly.
And with Barbara, can walk around in her shirt, go to a party, have 10 people in the party, tell everybody about the show. Everybody about the show. Everybody in that room is a potential guest. And
that is so true.
if you go, and I think that allows the show to last a while, because eventually there is going to come a time when a particular topic is no longer appropriate. And I think that that's what I noticed on 9/11 is that it's sort of like VH1 shut down. It was just there isn't anything on VH1, and with my show, a tragedy hits, we can talk about it. It doesn't.
Yeah, they
it
want a
doesn't,
place to talk about it.
Yeah.
They want a place where they can talk about it. It's not. There's not going to be anybody that's going to say to them, "Are you sure this is appropriate here?" Or why? I mean, if something bad were to happen to a friend of Kelly's, or something bad were to happen to a friend of Barbara's, I would want the two of you to talk about it here.
Yeah.
And
it's really limitless.
because, it's appropriate. It's appropriate. There's
Mm-hmm.
a place where you can come and you can talk about it. And it's appropriate. And it's not, I'm not going to be saying to either of you, listen, this isn't really the right place, I mean, why don't you go over there to that other place? No, I think a good example of it is Barbara's fall, I don't know, I mean, how many interviews did you give about your fall, Kelly? Barbara.
Oh, none really, hardly any. Oh, you mean on our show?
Anywhere besides our show.
Oh.
Besides our show. Talking about your fall.
I can't even remember. Nobody really wanted
Okay.
to talk about it, actually.
All right. Now, Kelly, and we brought this up on the show, so I know I'm not going to be embarrassed when I ask you about this. How many places were you interviewed about your miscarriage?
Like 0. And it was so nice to be able to talk to mediums and psychics and find out what really happened because it was so confusing. It was so confusing. It was like, I didn't know if there was like a medical malpractice or what was happening, but, when more than one psychic or medium tells you the same thing, but, maybe a little slightly different way, for me, that gave me great comfort because then I could tell that it was validated. Because,
oh, yeah.
How could people, that didn't know each other make up something and have it all the same, like the same story, if they didn't know each other ahead.
So true.
Then
right.
it has
So
to be
true.
real.
It just really was. I was just going to say that, Kelly. It was so it must have been so comforting because, sometimes you're like, well, why? You don't know why, or somebody's death. Why did this happen? And they give you such a different perspective. It's really a perspective that you can, oh, wow, that enlightened me. And that, okay, just now we know, both of us know that those babies we lost, we'll see them again. And that's something I wasn't even thinking about.
Yeah, and it helped me because I was doing everything possible to be safe, to not have anything around like cleaning stuff, anything that could possibly jeopardize. I watched everything that went in my mouth, and it was like I still wondered if it was me, and to find out that it wasn't, that was a relief. I mean, nobody could really tell me anything. Medically, other than, well, there's no heartbeat. Well, does that mean a week later there would be one? I mean, how do you really know? So
right. And then the other questions, like, who says it wasn't a soul if it didn't have a heartbeat? I mean, when does the soul start? I think that when the baby is created, from the very first moment, it is a soul. And I didn't think that, and they told me that it was. So then I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
well, I didn't just lose one. I've lost 3, and now I get to meet 3 of my children in heaven.
That is so cool that you can meet them later and know that it wasn't anything that you did or didn't do, and it was just something that happened. And it's just like, oh, okay, good. They still care. They still love us, even though, we haven't met face to face.
Yes,
Right.
and the same thing like with our falls. Like you were saying with our falls. There was a reason. I wouldn't be here on this show that I love so much that this is like the highlight of my life doing this with you guys. And the fall really
and I'm going
is
to say
what made it
something
happen.
else. If somebody else had interviewed the two of you, do you think they would want to talk about what you would want to talk about, or do you think they would want to talk about, like, with Barbara? I mean, what do you think they would say? Well, they would probably say Playboy in the Austin Powers movie that you were in, okay? Kelly, I don't know what they would say. I guess the point I'm trying to get at is this show, the guests set the terms. That's another reason I like the Chakra Days. I like the Chakra Days because the guests set the terms. They decide what to discuss. They decide what we talk about. There's not, you want to, like we had Christine Richters on, and, Christine Richters was talking about an old boss that she had. It's funny because I'm the opposite of that guy. I mean, he was overbearing. He was, buzzing around. But we had her on, and she was able to end the show by saying, I'm campaigning for this person to be attorney so-and-so. The fact is, she was able to do that. She set the terms. It wasn't posing nude for Playboy. Christine Richters set the terms.
Yeah, we go
deeper.
deeper. Yes, we definitely go deeper than that. And then also that our realizations from being on this show. Both Kelly and I were with people that had encouraged us to not wear. I don't know about Kelly, I wouldn't word it that way, but encouraged me not to be on it. But Kelly, she just didn't have the support system with it after she started. At first she did, but with that other person you were with. And you know what? That just went to validate our decisions to leave that person. And they're in the past, because like we have been saying, how could this not be good? This is a good thing. There's nothing wrong with this at all. This is helping people, and this is good, and that is delving in deep. So how could our person who is our partner in life and love us, how could they not want us to be doing this?
Exactly. And I don't know, if I wasn't involved in the show, I might not have evolved enough for a relationship to happen with somebody that's healthy. And, so, here I evolved with the show, and I was learning constantly and, learning how to relate to people more. And then it was, here by chance he came into my life, and I was ready. And,
you were ready.
Yeah, and had I not had the support of you guys, I don't think I would have gone back to that other person, but it would have wrecked me for quite a while. And I didn't let it.
Oh, I get over things so much more quickly with the tools the things that we've learned and we're able to draw from, and we've learned from being on this show. I mean, we're perfect examples for guests to come on, and we're like a living, walking example of the good it could do.
Exactly. Yeah, and we also learned what not to put up with, to recognize negativity, to recognize narcissists, to recognize disingenuine people. So he's over here trying to make me laugh. But, oh, sorry. But, yeah, I mean, you totally made me lose my train of thought. You dork.
So
but,
quickly,
yeah.
like you were saying, like you recognize it so much more quickly. You recognize it, but then also you recognize it right away.
Yeah, and to have the power of being able to manifest. And that was something I didn't have before. You know, that law of attraction, the positivity, the manifesting. That's something that we're all doing really well.
And what you were saying earlier about growing and how you have a platform to do so and become such a leader.
Oh, thank you. I guess I didn't really think of myself that way, but yeah.
You are.
Well, thank you. So are you. And so is Johnny.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome. I know sometimes Johnny is a man of few words, but he really is a leader.
Really is. And just by the way, he doesn't want to be the leader, and that he wants to do it in a shared sense, in a shared environment, makes him a leader. I really do think that makes you a good leader, Johnny, because you're so humble and you're so caring and kind to others. That is a leadership quality.
Yeah, because otherwise it's a dictatorship.
Yep.
Nobody wants to work for that.
No, that's right. So, wow, I think this was such a great show, and I'm glad we finally did this. And honored, really, it's an honor to Johnny. And it said, we're grateful. We have so much gratitude for you who's created this and chose us. So thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And I think I can speak to for our regular listeners as well.
Oh, yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, he's the one that started it all, and he's the one, who brought us all together, and I'm eternally grateful.
Yeah. So, wow, wonderful. What a wonderful show.
Yeah. Thank you. I'm excited. I'm excited about where we're all going.
So am I.
And we're taking everybody with us.
I told Kelly tonight. I told Kelly yesterday, I said, when you write the description for the show, don't forget the part where I stood out in front of and on your front lawn holding a boom box, demanding that you be asking you to be, begging you to be my co-host.
Well, it wasn't quite like
Did
that
happen? But... Wait a minute.
No.
Did that really happen?
No.
Okay. All right.
But I was doing the movie Say Anything, like standing in front of her front porch with the boom box.
Yeah.
And then asking her, begging her to be my co-host.
Oh, that's true.
No, I know it didn't happen because you guys haven't really met. And so,
nope.
I wanted to just do a shout out for the GoFundMe that is on the Life, Laughter, Happiness group page and other page, Life, Laughter, Happiness, everything really. We're going to start putting it up, and I'm going to put it up on the website as well. But everybody, please go and read it. Kelly has created this GoFundMe because we need to all come together for our photo shoot and help us help you, because when we come all together and we get all of our marketing tools together and we start growing and evolving with that, those are the tools we need to reach people who need our help. So if you can help us help you, listeners out there, please, any donation, we don't care if it's $1, it's going to add up. It's going to help. So please check it out. We're going to put a link on also the Life, Laughter, Happiness, where you go to log on Blog Talk Radio. Remember, you put my link for GoFundMe on there. We need to put yours on there now. So, and we're going to send that out to you, our regular listeners, on all of our social media regularly. So please be on the lookout for that. Don't just throw it away. Please read it, and please donate, because we need this. We need it very badly. It's not just something fun. We actually need this. It's going to be fun too, but we're in need, so we're letting you know.
Yeah, thank you. That it will help us to be able to reach more people, to be able to do more, and it's a great way to give back. It's a great way to help us reach people and be able to do things for people.
Yes.
Mhm.
That's right. Okay, so should we say goodbye to all of our wonderful listeners out there and see you guys on our next show?
Sounds good.
If you want.
Yeah.
If you
Okay,
want.
I don't want to, but I have to say my mom made dinner, and I'm visiting my mom and my stepdad in Washington right now, and she always makes me dinner. I feel like, oh my gosh, how lucky am I? I don't have to do anything for a week except for what I want to do. Yeah, I don't have to work. I don't have to cook. I don't have to take care of anything really, and my mom does it. And how wonderful is that? So she has said, dinner's ready. Dinner's ready.
Meals. Yep. Yeah.
So on that note, thank you everybody, and have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And I don't know what we have in store for tomorrow, but I do know what we have in store for Sunday, and I can't wait I'm going to ask my mom to lay down with me and go through the guided meditation. She's having a lot of lung problems right now. She never was a smoker or anything, but it's just something that she is going through, and she had a recent surgery, so she could really benefit from this meditation, our Sunday Restart with Kelly. Yeah.
Thank you.
So she'll say hi. She'll say hi on Sunday, and I really look forward to that.
Thank you. Me too. It's going to be extra healing. I just know that much. Extra healing.
I wanted to let you know beforehand that was probably going to happen with my mom being a part of it, laying down with me and going through that meditation. I wanted to let you know, Kelly, so you could put up some extra good vibes for her.
Oh, definitely. Thank you for letting me know. I'll definitely be doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day and night, and everybody have a great weekend. And do we have anything for tomorrow, you guys?
Well, I was thinking we could interview Kelly, but I was thinking we could interview Kelly if you want.
I'm up for that.
Are you okay with
definitely.
that?
Okay. Yeah,
I'm good. That sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you. I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, so we'll see you tomorrow then.
All right.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, have a great night. Be blessed. And thank you, everyone.
Thank you.